All right, it's 41 past the hour. Live look at the White House. We've been talking this morning about controversial comments that Nikki Haley has made, especially upon the release of her latest book. Here she is just moments ago on the Today Show.
For me. I am way over time, but let me just quickly, because it's been out there and you worked in this administration. Did you ever have any doubt about the fitness of this president to serve?
I never did.
Any doubt about his mental acuity?
I never did.
Any question about his truthfulness, his ability to tell the truth?
Savannah, I talked to him multiple times, and when I had issues, he always heard me out. I never had any concern on whether he could handle the job,
and
ever.
What about his truthfulness? Did you think he was a truthful person?
Yes. In every instance that I dealt with him, he was truthful, he listened, and he was great to work with.
Well, I have one word for Mike Pence, my friend, Doc.
Yeah.
Doc. As far as that, I mean, Nikki Haley, unless she wanted the job, would not so besmirch her own reputation. She just said she had no question as to Donald Trump's fitness for the job.
Well, she tried to qualify it by saying when he was with me.
Right, but she also but Willie, at the end, when pressed,
that's not how it works.
When pressed, she said that Donald Trump was truthful.
Always.
And never had any question. Always truthful. Willie, this is just one of those moments where we need to just stop and actually, you can just smell the corruption in Washington, D.C., and you see the impact of Donald Trump, how he corrupts everybody that's either close to him, in his orbit, or who want to be in his orbit. And I will say it is actually, personally, it's very sad. Very sad for us, because we've always believed that Nikki Haley actually had a chance to be something significant. And she's chosen instead to lie for Donald Trump and to say things that she knows is not true, that Donald Trump knows is not true, that Republicans know not true, and that the American people know is not true. I guess, Willie, the only conclusion we can reach is because she wants to be Vice President of the United States.
Eddie Glaude threw his head back so hard, I think he pulled a message listening to that soundbite from, pulled a muscle listening to that soundbite from Nikki Haley. Yeah, I would add to this, too. She's out in interviews saying there's no predicate for the impeachment inquiry. It's ridiculous. It's outrageous. So she's parroted all the Republican talking points. And as you say, she was a hope for a lot of Republicans coming from her spot as the governor of South Carolina and the ambassador to the UN. Maybe she could be the post-Trump future of the Republican Party, but it looks like she wants to be a part of the current Trump administration. Susan Page, what do you make of all we've heard from Nikki Haley over the last week?
Well, I would just say in the interview that I did with Nikki Haley that she did have some criticism of President Trump. She said that it was inappropriate for him to ask Ukraine to investigate Joe Biden. She said that was not a proper path that you want to go down. Now, she didn't use the most heated language, but she very clearly stated she thought that was wrong. She then went on to say she didn't think it was serious enough to be an impeachable offense. Right. So you can certainly fault her for that. She's also made some efforts to distinguish herself from him on issues of race, including his comments after Charlottesville. Now, she's walking this line that has tripped up almost every Republican that you know, which is how to stay on the good side of Donald Trump, who controls the Republican Party today, while also keeping your own positions, your own principles clear. And in the interview she just did with the Today Show, you see her, definitely on one side of that line, on the Trump side. But I would say she has made some efforts to also maintain some degree of independence.
But, Eddie Glaude, today, she that line was forever erased. Again, I must say kudos to Savannah for really bearing down on the question for which there is no doubt. Yeah. There is no gray area. Asking on whether the president was truthful or not, whether the president had problems telling the truth. And when pressed, she said, well, of course he has no problems with the truth. He sounded every bit as ridiculous as a certain, I think it was Stuart Varney, who said the president's never lied, never told a lie before. And now Nikki Haley puts herself in that company. I'm sorry, for a lot of conservatives, for a lot of Republicans, it is a sad day.
You know, Joe, you made the point earlier, but I think it's important to echo it. Matthew Dowd made it on Twitter. We should give Trump credit. Whoever comes into his orbit, he reveals their character. And what you said earlier is that he corrupts the soul of folks who come into his orbit. And what we saw just recently, just right there, was that Nikki Haley revealed for all of us to see that she's willing to turn a blind eye to Trump's lies, to the erosion of our democracy, to the crisis that we're in. Donald Trump has an amazing ability to reveal who these people are. And I think we need to take them for who they are.
Well, yeah, take them for who they've been revealed to be. You know, Willie, Mike Pence is a great example. He's a guy I knew in Congress. I don't recognize him. I haven't recognized him for several years. He will literally say anything that he is told to say. He will literally parrot Donald Trump. He was even like a parrot that if his master puts a water bottle on the floor, he'll get his beak and he'll pick up the water bottle and he'll put it on the floor. And you look at the Republican Party writ large. This is a party that when I joined and when I went to Congress, what do we fight for? Fought for balanced budgets. Republicans don't talk about balanced budgets anymore. They've got the biggest deficits in the history of the country. They passed the largest budget ever, the biggest pork barrel spending budget ever. They have the largest national debt ever. I'm telling you, the entire Republican Party back when I was in Congress, I said it, you know, have a drink. We fought day and night to balance the budget, to make the government smaller, to make it more responsive. We pushed back against the Russians. We pushed back against Russian aggression. We pushed back against totalitarian regimes. We fought for free trade. I mean, all the things that Donald Trump is doing is what we fought against. And now this Republican Party, like Mike Pence and now like Nikki Haley, they just don't give a damn about conservative principles. All they're doing is fighting for Donald Trump, and their justification are federal judges? What about their jobs? What about saving future generations from massive debt? How about the size and the scope of the federal government? How about supporting a president that says Article 2 gives him unlimited power, that he can, quote, do whatever he wants? We conservatives were Madisonians. We believed in checks and balances, and we believed that Article 1, that Congress was described in Article 1, the legislative branch, for a reason. Because it mattered, that it was among equals, it was the most important branch. And Willie, Republicans, conservatives, Mike Pence, Nikki Haley, they've thrown that all away. And by the way, don't believe me. Just look at the facts. Just look at the debt clock. Just look at what Donald Trump has said. He sides with Vladimir Putin, an ex-KGB agent, over America's intel community and over the United States military's intel community. It is a sad. This is just one more sad chapter in how Donald Trump, this former Democrat who gave money to Anthony Weiner, this former Democrat who gave money to Charlie Rangel, this former Democrat who gave money to you name it. Hillary Clinton 8 times said she was a great Secretary of State. This is a guy that has corrupted the conservative movement and the Republican Party.
And small government deficit hawks looking the other way as the president presides over $1 trillion deficit. The list goes on. And not to mention the personal side of it, all these senators who were insulted for a year and a half on the campaign trail in 2015, 2016, immediately flipped after President Trump took the oath of office and support him now, including in the impeachment inquiry. Let's turn